Last week, I challenged myself to feed my family of 4 for just $100 at Aldi. Did I pull it off? Let's find out. Hi, I'm Andrea and welcome to the Grit and Grace Mom channel, where our focus is helping busy moms save time and money in the kitchen. So part of saving time and money in the kitchen is, of course, saving time and money grocery shopping. So I was looking at the USDA website, that's the US Department of Agriculture, because I wanted to get a handle on what the average family spends on groceries. And I found out that the average family of 4 spends $265 a week on groceries. And that's on the thrifty plan. I don't know, but $265 doesn't sound particularly thrifty to me. So I was like, oh, there's gotta be a better way. So last week I challenged myself to see if I could feed my family of 4 for a week for $100. Why $100? I don't know, it just sounded like a nice round number. But so I made my typical weekly grocery list and then loaded up the kids into the car and we went to Aldi and I just shopped the aisles. So in my last video, I showed you a side-by-side comparison of some of the most popular grocery items that, a mom would be shopping for her family. And we did a side-by-side comparison of what products were available at Aldi, how much they cost versus what they cost at a competitor. So that was part 1. If you haven't caught part 1, I've linked it in the show description below. So make sure you check that out. But in part 2, we are going to be covering some tips and tricks for shopping at Aldi, as well as I'm going to let you know whether or not we actually rose to the challenge and met that $100 target. But first, some tips and tricks for shopping successfully at Aldi. Aldi is a unique place. It's got some quirks to shopping to it. The first tip I'll share is tip number 1, make sure you have a quarter. So you're probably like, make sure I have a quarter. Why do I need a quarter? Those of you who are old enough to remember payphone booths, you're wondering, do I need to make a payphone call? No, sadly there are no payphone booths at Aldi. But one of the unique quirks about Aldi is you actually rent a shopping cart. So you put your quarter in the little thing and then you're able to pull a shopping cart out of the corral. And then when you're done shopping, after you return the cart, you'll get your quarter back. I know that sounds that's a very interesting setup. Maybe shopping cart theft is a bigger problem than any of us ever realized, but I guess that's one of the ways they keep costs down is make sure that no shopping carts go missing. So unless you want to be walking around the aisles holding all of your groceries, make sure you bring a quarter. Tip number 2 is, unless you want to be carrying all of your groceries, make sure you bring your own bags. I guess that's another way they keep costs down is they don't offer any single-use plastic bags or even paper bags, but instead you just load them all up in your cart like I did. So I didn't get the memo. I had gotten the memo on the quarter, but I hadn't got the memo on the bags. So I wound up with all of my groceries just in the cart. And that's okay. But tip number 2 is make sure you bring your own bags. Tip number 3 is Aldi is actually kind of a small store, so they may not have everything on your list. So just bear that in mind that it is a smaller store. But a little tip I heard is that they restock on Wednesdays. So if you have some flexibility in your schedule, maybe make sure you make it to Aldi on a Wednesday. Tip number 4 is make sure to check out the Aldi finds. These are things that have been discounted. A lot of times they're seasonal produce items, and sometimes they're available year round and sometimes they're not. So you can find not only some great prices on products, but also some really unique seasonal items there in the Aldi finds. So those are 4 tips for successfully shopping at Aldi. So, moment of truth time. Did I pull it off? Drum roll, please. The grand total for this Aldi adventure was $116.31. So no, I did not succeed in the challenge of feeding my family of 4 for $100 at Aldi. Now, in fairness to Aldi, if you watched part 1, you know that I was not alone on this shopping trip. I had a couple of kids with me. And so what that means is Don't judge me, but it means a couple of unplanned purchases went into the cart. So when I went back through the receipt and I looked at the items that were not originally on the list but somehow wound up in the cart, there was about $12 of unplanned items. So if you take those out, I would have landed at about $104, which is pretty darn close, and that's a lot less than $265. So what I learned from this experience is that it is possible to feed a family of 4 on a tight budget. Remember, every little bit counts. Even small changes to your shopping habits can add up to big savings over the long term. Let us know in the comments if you've tried a similar challenge or if you have any budget-friendly shopping tips to share. I know I would love to hear them. You might help another mom out. We're all trying to save time and money. And if this video has been helpful to you or if it's been entertaining to you, then please consider subscribing for more content like this. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.